This week I'm out in LA driving the Maserati Grecale, but just a couple quick notes before I get started here. I had plans of going up into the mountains, getting big scenic overlook shots like I had with the Amira. All my B-roll was going to have all mountains in the background, and I was going to have a place to stand outside the car and do a whole walk around like I usually do. But unfortunately, as of the shooting of this video, a lot of the mountains are either currently literally on fire or have National Guard blocking them due to threat of fire. So things didn't quite work out with the style of the video or with the B-roll, and that is a minor inconvenience for me. It is a life-altering thing for the people living here. So any proceeds I make for this video are going to end up going towards some of the fire relief efforts and helping those people rebuild. Maserati has been pumping out some excellent products the last couple of years, but they've been kind of flying under the radar. That GranTurismo Trofeo I drove not too long ago absolutely blew me away, but so many people couldn't get past the fact that they dropped the V8. Thank you to the 8 people that watched that video, by the way. While crossovers aren't exactly my favorite segment, on a personal level, when I found out that the Grecale Trofeo used the same engine as the GranTurismo Trofeo, I started to get a little more excited about this one. But the tuning is a little bit different. This one only produces a measly 523 horsepower and 457 pound-feet of torque. Sorry, but if you need more than that in your small lifted crossover, I think you need to take a step back and reassess. The power comes from a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 with cylinder deactivation. Can essentially shut off an entire bank of cylinders in order to get a little bit better fuel economy. And it has a pre-combustion chamber, which is some F1 inspired technology, the same that was in that GranTurismo Trofeo, and it results in some very, very good responsiveness and quickness. And a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission also provides quickness and smoothness when it comes to shifting both the up and the down. An all-wheel drive system is going to be your only drivetrain option, and the Trofeo gets a rear limited slip differential. Now, even with cylinder deactivation and an auto start-stop feature, this thing is only rated at about 20 miles per gallon combined, but come on, it's a 500 horsepower luxury Italian performance crossover. 20 miles per gallon is just fine. Design-wise, the Grecale has some distinctive elements that make it easily identifiable as a Maserati, beyond the tridents, of course, including the side vents, the front grille, and the use of trapezoids all over the place. With this one being the Trofeo, it gets a carbon fiber front splitter, rear diffuser, and side skirts. It also gets some unique wheel designs with the beefed up name brand Brembo brakes inside, and a black tipped quad exhaust for that beautiful Italian music. A lot of automakers tend to go a little bit overboard when it comes to the carbon fiber, but Maserati has kept it clean and classy with this one. They've also tried to keep the side profile clean and classy with a unique door handle design without resorting to those little stick things that retract into the side of the car that so many other luxury automakers are using. I really appreciate this design much, much more. Other notable exterior features are the Matrix LED headlights. Those are the ones with a bazillion little LED lights in them that provide better visibility at night while sort of bending around oncoming drivers so you're not blinding them. Auto folding, auto dimming heated side mirrors, and a hands-free liftgate with kick to open. And since the Trofeo doesn't have a mild hybrid system like you get in the GT or the Modena, you save a little bit of space in the cargo area, bumping you up from just about 19 cubic feet to just over 20 cubic feet. Note that the power outlet and the sliding rails back there are part of a $480 travel pack. Kind of a neat little touch. I don't think I've seen that before in a crossover, those little sliding rails to help you tie stuff down. You've also got pulls on the sides to drop down that second row. Those will fold flat, give you a little bit of extra cargo space. And underneath that floor, you've got a fix-a-flat kit. No spare tire here. I'm not the biggest fan of these things. Hopefully you don't completely blow out a tire. The carbon fiber continues on the inside, and again, it's not overdone. Very tasteful, though you can get a few other trim options as well, including a glossy piano black. Don't get that. Get the carbon fiber. Leather and suede surfaces abound, make the interior feel very premium, as it should for 110 grand. But the seats are very comfortable with all kinds of adjustability, including lumbar support and my favorite bolsters. But though interestingly, as with the GranTurismo, some of those seat controls are physical controls on the outside of the seat, while others are buried in the second lower screen down here. Note that these are heated as standard, but if you want ventilation, you'll have to get a climate pack. That also includes a heated steering wheel, heated rear seats, and heated windshield washer nozzles. And the fancy Maserati Trident logos you see on all the headrests here, because this one has the Climate Pack Plus. Like, those are the plus, I guess. It'd be nice if these seats had a massage function, especially at this price point. I'm a little surprised that's not even an option. I'm a big fan of this pulsing blue button on the steering wheel that begs you to go for a drive, as well as easy access to your drive mode selections and your suspension setup right here on the other side of the wheel. I also really like the volume and tuning selectors on the back of the wheel. What I'm not a big fan of is the rest of the buttons here, these glossy black buttons that feel a little bit cluttered, and with the glare they can be kind of hard to see at times. Those control your ADAS functions and your fully digital gauge cluster. Maserati did a really good job of keeping that instrument cluster clean with just a handful of different layouts and a few different pieces of extra info that you can cycle through in the left-hand circle. Though the range indicator seems to be a little bit drunk, I have more range now than I did over an hour ago. The dual screen setup in the center may not be the most pleasing to the eye, but if you're going to take away all the physical controls, this is simpler and requires fewer clicks than a lot of the single screen setups. The top one has your Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, some performance gauges, vehicle setup, and satellite navigation, which is nice because then you don't have to rely on cell towers. The bottom one has your lights. That does not need to be in a digital menu. Your HVAC controls, your ambient lighting. You can even adjust the clock through there in case you want it to be a G meter instead of a regular clock. Unlike the GranTurismo, there is no button to open your glove box in here. That was overkill. There's just a regular mechanical pull tab on the glove box itself. The back seats are nearly as nice as the fronts, especially when you get them heated. They have their own climate control, cup holders, power outlets, and gobs of space. This is class leading in terms of space back here. That's because it's a bigger vehicle than its primary competitors, though it is technically still a compact. Now, where this car really shines is in the driving experience. I mentioned I was excited about this powertrain, and I have not been let down. The Grecale is quick, hitting 60 from 0 in just 3.6 seconds. And even better, it's very responsive, especially when you put it into sport or Corsa mode. There's no delay from when my foot hits the throttle pedal to when the car starts moving. There's no delay from when I hit one of these massive, lovely column-mounted paddle shifters to when the car actually shifts. The steering is really buttoned up and direct, and the brakes provide massive amounts of confidence. This car does exactly what you want it to, exactly when you tell it to, and it excels in dynamic driving. Not exactly things you expect from a luxury crossover, but things I'm very impressed with as a driving enthusiast. I mentioned sport and Corsa modes. There's also a GT, a comfort, and an off-road mode. Kind of funny seeing a race mode and an off-road mode in the same vehicle. But beyond throttle response, those also adjust your steering, how aggressive the transmission is, and your suspension, since this has standard air suspension with about 3 inches of travel between its lowest and highest settings. So that allows you to avoid scraping the underbody when you're in an off-road situation, or apparently on-road in LA. What is up with these roads? And be the most aerodynamic when you're in Corsa mode, or even just cruising along the highway at a decent clip. I did expect comfort mode to be a little bit more, well, comfortable, but it is a trade-off when you're buying a more performance-oriented vehicle. Plus, these roads are just awful, so I'm sure that's playing a major role here. For normal driving, there's plenty of tech here to help you out, especially when you option the ADAS Level 2 and Tech Assist packs. Lane tracing works quite well, as does adaptive cruise. Blind spot monitoring is not overbearing, neither are the pre-collision systems. And I always appreciate having a full 360 cam for tight parking spaces and garages. It's a solid suite of helpful features that don't intervene until you actually need them to. The heads-up display, that's where the Tech Assist pack comes in, is a little bit distracting when you have it in advanced mode. It shows all the streets around you, but you can tone that down in the settings, and then it'll just show your speed limit, any driver's assist stuff you have activated. And if you're in Corsa mode, then it will show the tach as well. But note that directions are only in the advanced mode and only when you're using the onboard nav, not your Android Auto or Apple CarPlay nav. Overall, this is an excellent product for a driving enthusiast. It's responsive, it's engaging, and it performs in a way that crossovers have no right to, while still maintaining a very premium look and feel. Now, the price point is a bit tough to swallow, with the Trofeo starting out at 110 grand. It's quite a bit more than some of the competition like the Macan GTS or the BMW X4M. And this one is optioned out to $123,000. A lot of those options are things that feel like they should probably be standard, like a 360 cam, plus these glossy black buttons on the steering wheel and the door and for the transmission are quite a turnoff. But those things are easy to look past when you're flying down a twisty road. Let me know what you think about the Grecale Trofeo down in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.